Not a lot of people are actually talking about the Champions League qualifying rounds, but guess who's doing it? Me. So if you're new around here, guys, and you love Champions League football, make sure you click the subscribe button right now, because I'll be doing this all season, and this is gonna be one of the best seasons ever. I'm calling it. You think last season was good? Well, gear up for this season, because it's gonna be straight fire. And you know how I know it's gonna be straight fire? Even in the third qualifying round, we are already having drama. And guess what, guys? We have another round after this called the playoff round, where they will have 12 teams remaining that will fight for 6 remaining spots to join the 26 teams who have already qualified for the Champions League group stage proper. Remember, guys, Liverpool are the defending champions. Do you guys think they can successfully defend their title? If they do so, that will make 3 finals in a row. That would be some crazy stuff. Or do you think it's the year for my team, Manchester City, to do it? Well, we've been waiting to do it for quite a long time. Ajax is not my team. I'm only wearing this for special effect. Just remember that. So in this video, I would like to react to my predictions for the third round of the UEFA Champions League qualifiers. So there were 10 ties and I picked 10 teams to go through. I did not expect to get all of them right, but guys, the teams that I got wrong, damn man, I wasn't expecting that at all. Like Porto, are you kidding me, Porto? Like, really? You're not in the Champions League this season after making it to the quarterfinals and you losing to Krasnodar? Like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me, Porto. Celtic, you're the other team. Like, what is going on? Neil Lennon and Celtic, what is going on over there? You losing to Cluj? Not a lot of people even know where Cluj is. Romanian team Cluj. Like, this is ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. There were more big scalps, but we'll get into it pretty soon. So let's start with the first leg of each of the ties, and then we are gonna go into the second leg where the winners were determined. So for the first fixture, APOEL 1, Qarabağ 2. I did predict APOEL to go through, and after the first round, I was like, you know what, man, maybe APOEL isn't gonna make it, because Qarabağ picking up 2 away goals, that was a pretty remarkable feat. And as I said, it's not easy to play in Cyprus. So after the first round results, I was afraid I wasn't gonna get my prediction right. But guys, believe it or not, APOEL came from behind after that home loss and defeating Qarabağ 2-0. Like, that was some good stuff. So congratulations to APOEL. You made me proud. You are on to the playoff rounds of the Champions League. So in the playoff round, APOEL was drawn against the winner of the PAOK versus Ajax fixture. And talking about the PAOK versus Ajax fixture, in the first leg of that tie, the match ended in a 2-2 draw where Ajax picked up 2 valuable away goals. So that was some good stuff there by PAOK, keeping Ajax to a draw. Remember last season, Ajax made it all the way to the Champions League semi-final, where they barely missed out on that place in the final after that remarkable comeback by Tottenham Hotspur, courtesy of that Lucas Moura hat-trick. So Ajax, they had a meltdown and they had to pay for it. But they are back in the Champions League qualifiers despite winning the Dutch league, which is ranked so low by UEFA. So after that 2-2 draw, Ajax picking up a very valuable 2 away goals. How did they fare in the second leg? Well, it wasn't an easy task to get over this PAOK team at all, because they were made to grind. The match ended in a 3-2 victory for Ajax, but it was a very dramatic game. Well, in this game, PAOK scored first, then Ajax equalized. So it was 1-1 all the way down to the 79th minute when Nicolas Tagliafico gave Ajax the lead, and then after that, Dusan Tadic scored another penalty to put the game 3-1 up. But then PAOK scored again in the 90th minute when they sparked a fight back. They could have scored another and they would have went on to win the game, because they are on the road and they would have picked up 3 away goals. But Ajax held on and they will move on to the playoffs to face APOEL. that's a very tricky fixture to predict as well. But Ajax are the favorites. I will do my predictions in a separate video. This is me only reacting to the result. But good stuff by Ajax coming out with the victory against a very, very tricky team in PAOK. So PAOK, a team who won the Greek league for the first time in a very, very long time, will feel hard done by these results. But I think they will go into the Europa League qualifiers. Not sure if they go right into the group stage or if they go to, I think they do go to qualifiers. So good luck to PAOK in the Europa League qualifiers. Then we have Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia versus Ferencváros of Hungary. The first leg game hosted by Dinamo Zagreb ended in a 1-1 draw, and I was getting a bit scared for Dinamo, a team I followed very closely in the Champions League qualifiers last season and then in the Europa League and also in their league. So Dinamo Zagreb, I actually have a soft spot for that team still. I don't know if I'm going to follow them just yet because they might be in the Champions League and my team Man City is in the Champions League. So that would be like, you know, conflict right there. But it was not a good first match. The first leg was not good. So how would Dinamo go on to do in the second leg? Well, they would go on to smash Ferencváros 4-0. But it's easier said than done because the first goal came in the 16th minute, second in the 47th, then 55th and 79th. So Ferencváros was still in the tie up until the 47th minute. So it was a very good display by the Hungarian team. Recently, Hungary defeated Croatia, and I mentioned that they would need that type of luck to defeat Dinamo. But this Dinamo team has very, very good quality and squad depth. So I'm not surprised at all that they moved on. I did predict Dinamo to move on. I did predict Ajax to move on. I did predict APOEL to move on. So that's 3 in 3. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I'm pretty proud of myself. I wish I could give myself a tap on the back right now. I really wish. So Dinamo now in the playoffs were drawn against the winner of the Maribor versus Rosenborg tie. Who will they go on to play? Well, that brings us to the Maribor versus Rosenborg matchup. First leg at home, it ended in a 3-1 loss to Maribor, and I wasn't surprised because I did pick Rosenborg. Second leg, it finished in another 3-1 win for Rosenborg. Pretty good stuff by the Norwegian team there, and they will move on to the playoff round to face Dinamo Zagreb. So the first 4 ties, I got them all right. Boy, Dominic, you're on a roll. You're doing pretty good. But guys, it's gonna go downhill from here though. Definitely is gonna go downhill from here. Let's move on to the next fixture. Club Brugge of Belgium versus Dynamo Kyiv of Ukraine. First leg, all nice and dandy. It finished 1-0 in favor of Club Brugge, the team I predicted to go through. Then, second leg, man, it wasn't so simple. It wasn't so simple at all in the second leg. Damn, that was one hell of a game. 3-3 it ended. 3-3. And it's a good thing that Club Brugge won the first leg, or else, you know, they would have been staring defeat right in its face. So 3-3 away in Ukraine, that's a pretty good performance. Percy Tau picked up a red card in this game after picking up a second yellow. And the game was stretched. The game was real. Both teams looked like they were stretched. 95th minute goal by Openda to give Club Brugge the win. Well, this is ridiculous. But Club Brugge would have definitely went on to win on away goals though. They would have. They had 2 red cards in this game, Berda and Percy Tau. So it was a very, very feisty clash there, and Dynamo Kyiv has failed to make it to the Champions League once again. So Dominic, man, five fixtures you have predicted correctly. 5 in 5. How would I do in the remaining 5? I don't think I did pretty good in the remaining 5 at all. Damn. So, Club Brugge, they were drawn against the winner of the Basel versus LASK or LASK tie. So, let's find out who won that tie. Like any sane person would do, you see the name LASK, you see the name Basel, and you would go on and predict Basel to go through, right? Because you have seen Basel in the Champions League time after time. But goddamn, Basel, you really let me down, man. First leg at home, you lost to the Austrian team 2-1. Like, I don't even know any player on this Austrian team, but Basel recently sold one of their best players in Ayeti, and it seems like it's hurting them. The second leg away to the Austrian team, they got beaten even worse. 3-1 win for LASK to book themselves a place in the Champions League playoff to face Club Brugge, a team they will actually fancy beating. So who knows? We can see LASK in the Champions League. And what I like to do, guys, I don't want to know everything, and I don't like to know everything because that leaves no room for you guys to, you know, educate me in the comment section down below. So I'm asking you a question. Has LASK ever qualified for the Champions League? Let me know in the comment section down below. And I'm talking Champions League era. So that was a surprise result for me right there. So I got the first one wrong. So that's 5-6, and LASK, you proved me wrong. I apologize to all the fans of LASK. Your team will move on to the playoffs. It's not going to be as easy, but I think this team could definitely go through after getting past Basel. Let's move on to the next one, man. The next one is a big one. Let's talk about the Cluj versus Celtic fixture. Cluj won, Celtic won in the first leg. And I'm saying to myself, Celtic, you picked up that very valuable away goal. You got this. You got this. You're going to go home in front of that big crowd and you're going to put this tie to bed and you're going to qualify for the Champions League playoff. But, oh man, it didn't happen. It did not happen. They actually got beaten 4-3 in a high-scoring thriller. Let's just look at this score sheet. Diach scored in the 27th minute and then Forest equalized in the 61st. Then Celtic went ahead through Edward and then Omrani equalized for Cluj. Then Celtic went ahead again in the 76th minute through Ryan Christie and they had the game. They basically had the tie right there. It was 3-2. That's all they needed it to be. And then Omrani scored again in the 80th minute and late into extra time, Tukadian scored to put the game to bed. Well, Celtic were already losing because Cluj had already scored 3 away goals and they were winning on the away goal rule. So this is a very disappointing result for Celtic, missing out on the Champions League 2 seasons in a row. 2 seasons. Disappointing. And you made me get my prediction wrong. Okay? So that's 2 predictions in a row I got wrong there. LASK defeating Basel and then Celtic getting smashed by Cluj. So Cluj was actually drawn against Slavia Praha, who are waiting in the playoff round. So they did not have to go through 3rd round. So Cluj versus Slavia Praha in the playoffs. That's a very good clash. Very hard to predict as well. But right now, man, the Romanian team has the momentum. So let's continue to talk about the ties I predicted wrong. Krasnodar 0, Porto 1 in the first leg. And I'm saying to myself, like, Porto, you got this. You go to Russia, you defeat Krasnodar, you just got to go home and maybe play out to a draw and you win this. Let's just say a 0-0 draw, 1-1 draw, and you got this tie. But no, it did not happen, guys. It did not happen. Krasnodar 3, Porto 2. And this game was 3-0 for Krasnodar up until the 57th minute. Ridiculous stuff. Tani Vilena scored in the 3rd minute. Then Suleimanov scored in the 12th and 34th minute. It was 3-0 in 34 minutes. And Porto was staring down the barrel. Like, they were like, oh man, we're done. Can't come back from this. But a late fight back where Zeloui scored in the 57th minute and then Diaz scoring in the 77th minute almost gave Porto that lifeline, but nah. They couldn't do it. They're out of the Champions League this season and the Russian team Krasnodar moves on to the playoffs. So congratulations to Krasnodar for proving me wrong and for making me get my prediction wrong as well. So, you know, good stuff, man. I did not expect this. Porto is too much of a good team to be getting knocked out in the 3rd round of qualifiers. Very poor stuff by the Portuguese outfit. Poor for Krasnodar. Who will they play in the playoffs? They were drawn against the Istanbul Başakşehir versus Olympiacos winner. So let's find out who won that clash. This is a clash where I predicted Istanbul Başakşehir to move on. And guys, I don't know why I did so. I should have just backed freaking, oh my God. Why did I do that though? I should have just backed Olympiacos because I didn't back PAOK to go through. So I just should have said, you know what? I can't go against 2 Greek teams. One of them must go through to the playoffs. And it definitely is Olympiacos, who defeated Başakşehir in the first leg on the road, 1-0. Başakşehir, they had a red card in that game. And in the second leg, 2-0 win at home for Olympiacos to win the tie 3-0. This was a very, very one-sided tie. So Başakşehir once again misses out on Champions League football. And I also got that one wrong. So heartbreaking. So the last tie that I have to cover is the most nail-biting tie in the Zvezda versus Copenhagen tie. And I predicted Zvezda or Red Star Belgrade to go through to the Champions League. Remember, they were in the Champions League group stage last year where they were drawn in the group of death alongside PSG, Napoli and Liverpool. They picked up 4 points in that group, so they did pretty good. So if they do qualify for the Champions League again, I really hope they get a kind of group and not the group of death. So the first leg at home, Zvezda 1-1 versus Copenhagen. Second leg, oh my god, this was one hell of a fixture though. 1-1 again, both teams picking up red cards. Both teams. And then they went to a penalty shootout where it ended 7-6 in favor of Zvezda, with Milan Boyan, the Canadian international keeper, even taking one of the penalties and scoring. It was Mr. Wind or Vind. Well, his name will be pronounced Vind, I think. The striker who missed his penalty or got it saved, and Copenhagen knocked out of the Champions League qualifiers. Zvezda moves on. They move on, and I think they will face Young Boys. Yes, they will face Young Boys in the playoffs. Remember last season, Young Boys came up against Dinamo Zagreb and they knocked them out. So this is not an easy team to play at all. So guys, how many did I get right? How many did I get wrong? Well, right now in the playoffs, we have Dynamo versus Rosenborg. I did get those two teams right, so that's 2. Cluj versus Slavia Praha. I did not get the Cluj prediction correct. Zvezda versus Young Boys. I did get the Zvezda prediction correct. APOEL versus Ajax. I did get both of those correct, so that's 5. Then LASK versus Club Brugge. I did get one of those right, so that's 6. And then Olympiacos versus Krasnodar. I did not get any one of those correctly. So 6 out of 10 is not bad at all. That's 60%. I passed. I did pretty okay. I know you guys are looking forward for my Champions League playoff predictions, but you'll have to wait because I'm gonna do that in a separate video. It's only right that I make a designated video for that way I could break things down a little bit better. But congratulations to all the teams who have moved on to the playoff round to join Young Boys and Slavia Praha over there, man. Hard luck to Celtic, hard luck to PAOK, hard luck to Porto, and of course, freaking hard luck to Basel, man. These teams, you know, and the other teams. Let's not forget the other teams like Maribor, Qarabağ. I know you will be pissed, but I knew that Maribor wasn't going to go through, but they have to come better next year. They have to make better signings, do better recruitment and all of that. So I'm looking forward to see how Ajax will do in the next round, if they will move on. I'm wearing an Ajax jersey, of course. This is their away kit this season. So I'm hoping they get back into the Champions League. But I'm not going to give you any more predictions right now. That is it. How many did you get right in your Champions League third round qualifying predictions? I got 6 out of 10. I know I did way better than most of y'all, so don't come and say I didn't do well. I did pretty damn good. But guys, most of us wasn't predicting these teams to lose though. Porto? Like, come on. Basel? Like, I'm really surprised in that one. Celtic, that one got me. That one really got me. The Başakşehir I could really understand, and Basel I could understand too, and that was a shocker too, but still. But I'm babbling on too much, guys. If you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button. Thanks to all the new people who have subscribed to the channel. I just hit 27K. It's a big achievement. Road to 30K is in full effect. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and in the comment section down below, drop your early predictions. So guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich, and until next time, I like to say peace out. Rich Squad.